Alright guys, we are in the Camaro, in the Krypton Camaro, as you can see, and we are on our way to pick up some more parts for the 69 Camaro, and we're headed to Denny's Camaro parts. So we'll see you when we get there. Alright, this is Denny's Camaro parts. As you can see, he's got pretty much anything you need for first, second, I think some third gen also. Denny's a really good guy. He's been here for years. There he is now. How you doing, Denny?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. How many years you been here?
35.
35 years.
35 years.
Denny's
still in business.
Extremely knowledgeable, especially first gen Camaro, second gens, and a little bit of third gen.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Mostly first and second gen.
Yep. So definitely check out Denny if you need any Camaro parts. He ships out too. So
absolutely every day.
Yep.
UPS.
All right, guys, we're back home here on working on the Camaro. We got the torque tube pulled off, the drive shaft pulled out, and that's because this seal was leaking. So sometimes it doesn't matter if stuff's brand new. Sometimes it gets damaged in shipping or whatever. So we got a new seal to put in there. We'll get that taken care of. And from Denny's Camaro, we did get a bunch more parts. Here's our brake lines, front to back and across the front. They will slightly have to be modified, and we also got a whole big bag full of small parts in here, so we'll get into that in a minute. Chris is here gonna put a new seal in for us on that tail shaft, get it fixed up. So we got our gas tank straps, we got them slid in there. We got the mounting hardware kit. We'll get those all secured. These small screws go in the back here, keep that back tight, or the front actually, and then the back has this bracket. You slip the tank in with the anti-rattle, and then put nuts on these studs, and you tighten it up. We got our gas tank here. We got the old sender pulled out. We got a new sender we picked up from Denny's. We'll go ahead and get that popped in. We'll get the tank wiped down and get the new anti-rattle strips on it and get it thrown up in the car. Get the gas tank up in there. We got the straps, the anti-rattles on there. Got the straps bent into shape and got up on the studs. Chris has one problem with this car though. Tell him, Chris.
Gotta name it.
Gotta name it. Anyone with any ideas to name this car? Shoot them out there. We'll pick one.
We're looking forward to it.
All right, guys, we are mocking up. We got both seats in. Chris is loving it.
Loving it.
We're getting ready to throw the console in here and mock everything up. Check fitment. All right. Chris is banging gears already.
Banging the gears. You want to ride?
We got some of our parts installed. There's another pile of some more parts that we picked up. One of the things we did get, like I said, we are not painting this car, and it is going to be driven, so it needs to be weather tight to a certain degree. So we went ahead and picked up some weather stripping also. This is Metro brand super soft sponge. It's good. I've used this stuff before. Works good. This is the trunk weather stripping. We're going to go ahead and put this in for now. We're not going to glue it at this point. It will stay there. When this car does get painted, you can pull this right back out. And if he wants to reuse it, it's not really that expensive. It's only 15 bucks. But if he wants to reuse this, he can. We're not going to glue it in at this time. But that'll make, keep rattles down and keep weather out of the car. Not that it's going to be driven in the rain, but if you do wash this thing or whatever, it'll keep water and different stuff out of the car and make for a quieter ride also. So let's go ahead and open this up and we'll get that laid down in this track here. All right, we have it pulled out of the package here, and this stuff can be a little confusing. Like I said, I have used this before. It's all pretty much the same, but it's got a very irregular shape to it. It's not really going to match up to your old stuff because the old stuff is old, it's hard, and it's squashed into a weird shape. So pretty much this is going to lay in the gutter kind of like that, and if you look at this top seal, it's going to fold over when you close the lid. If you can see that, it'll fold over, and we're keeping elements out. So when that folds over and stuff tries to go in this way, it only pushes, you know, air tries to blow in or whatever, it pushes harder on it and seals even harder against the trunk lid. So we're gonna go, and obviously you're gonna have a seam somewhere. This isn't cut real straight, so we'll get that trimmed up nice and neat, and we're gonna put our seam like right in the middle, at, you know, right above the keyhole, right in the middle, in the back, or at the bottom. You don't want it up top. Obviously, if rain, water, or when you wash this thing collects up top here, it would drip in. But if any of the elements get in this trough, it should run around and drain out where your seam is. So we'll go ahead and get that trimmed up, laid in there, and then we'll have to trim the other end, and I'll show you how that works. So we'll start feeding this in here. I'll actually pull it back out just so you can see. So there is a ledge on this side, and we're actually gonna take that, like I said, line it up. We're gonna put that ledge under this piece here. So we'll slide a section under there, and then we'll just kind of take this and curl it down, and it kind of locks itself right in place. As long as we keep this top edge under that sheet metal, then we can take our thumb and just kind of roll this right into place. And then as you can see here, when the trunk lid shuts, it's just gonna push that down, and that's gonna be our sealing tongue, I guess you could say. All right, we worked our way around here, and we want to actually overlap this, I don't know, about an inch, and we can actually just kind of push this together and make that seal nice. Again, this is going to come out eventually anyway. If we got too much there, we can always trim it again, but obviously if you trim too much, then you're in trouble. So let's get this laid in here, and we can just kind of move each end and make that butt up nice together. With that pushed together, now it's got a nice even edge there. It actually fits really nice in the groove here on the Ultimato Direct tail pan, and on the factory edge, it honestly doesn't lock in really great. Again, this stuff's new. It's a little bit, I wouldn't say oversized, but it will shrink up a little bit over time. So we're just gonna make sure it's down good. We'll go ahead and shut the trunk lid. That's another reason why you install this stuff, because it can make your gaps off. So we'll get this as good as we can, shut the trunk lid, and see what we have. Another thing we did pick up is the bump stops for the trunk lid itself, and we did install them, obviously. Now, I ran into this before. There's a thick version like this. There is also a thin version. These are too thick. They actually make the trunk lid stick up, and that was before we put the weather stripping in. So we're gonna go ahead and pull these back out. We'll save these for maybe another one, and then we'll get that trunk lid shut, and we'll just let it sit there in the closed position for a little bit, and let this weather stripping kind of get smashed down there into place. Let it settle down a little bit. And that did shut. Obviously it's going to be harder to shut. Now there's a resistance all the way around it, a seal, so you got to kind of push it down, making sure it shuts. This is sheet metal. Don't push too hard in, like especially the center. It will dent, but we got it to shut. We probably need to wipe this down too. It's getting dusty again, but as you can see, it's up a little bit, but it still needs fitted, and that weather stripping will ease itself down some. So like I said, we'll leave this shut at least for a couple hours, and then open the trunk lid back up and see how it's looking. But overall, it's not bad at all. It's got a decent gap here. It's a little bit wide right now, but it's up a tiny bit on this side. It's almost flush with this side. So we can adjust that with the latch, bring that down a little bit more. But I think we just let that sit shut for a little bit and see how it comes out as that weather stripping smashes down. And another thing we did pick up is this shifter boot. And as you can see, we have it slip down onto the shifter, and we can make it cover that hole completely. We did get our trim ring here too with the mounting screws in it, or mounting holes. So this will go on there. We'll get that positioned. We did opt for the black trim ring, and that's because this does get a console, and you don't want something shiny in there catching your eye. You want the chrome shifter sticking out. The black boot, the black trim ring is how it would have came originally. There is like a tunnel that goes down around this in the console itself, and it's all kind of blacked out. So that's why we went with the black trim ring. And we still have to drill our 4 holes around there. I'll probably use the trim ring as a template for that. Just center it up in the hole and drill down in, and then we can just take it, put that right down. That'll seal that floor up really nicely. Another thing we picked up is these body plugs, or plastic plugs that go in the floor and in the inner wheel well. There's a hole here on either side, so we went ahead and snapped those in. Now we can finish up with our Dynamat over top of that. It's a factory hole. They have factory plugs there. I guess they're like drain plugs or whatever. They were plastic from the factory, and these are reproduction. So we have those snapped in, one on that side, and of course one on that side. We're gonna stop it there. We got a lot more to come with this. As you can see, we got a lot more parts in. There's some parts inside. We did have to move it off the lift because we got some progress going on the blue C6 Corvette. So thanks for stopping by. Have a good day.